Villa make it 3 wins in all competitions and continue their 100% record in the Europa League with this victory against Feyenoord.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm here with your instant match reaction as Aston Villa beat Feyenoord 2-0 in the Europa League to keep their 100% record going and 0 goals conceded to boot. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 10k. Get your comments and your thoughts on the game today and who was your man of the match. Let's get into it because it was a professional performance from Aston Villa. Are there still things to work on? Yes, but can we see real steps in the right direction? And Villa finding that rhythm back? Absolutely. We'll talk about the starting lineup first. Emi Martinez was meant to be in goal. Cash, Konsa, Pau and Matson across the back. Kamara and John McGinn in midfield. Gesson, Buendia and Rogers with Watkins up top. But it wasn't Emi Martinez who was in goal, was it? It was Marco Bizot that had to step in because Emi Martinez picked up an injury in the warm-up. And boy, did he step into the breach. He did fantastically well, and we'll get into his performance later. But in terms of key moments in the game, both teams started off well, and it was quite an end-to-end game. Both teams trying to look to get on the attack, pressing each other when they had the ball in their defensive thirds, but then also looking to play the ball through the thirds and get on the half turn and get into midfield. And Villa were doing that, weren't quite connecting though enough. There was some poor decision making, some poor touches just at the final third. And Feyenoord were looking to get the ball into the box quicker. And it was probably them that had the better half chances in the opening exchanges of the game. One of the key moments, a sending off opportunity. Ball goes through to Ollie Watkins, who takes the ball on the half turn, really does well. And Ahmed Ozic goes in, slide tackles him as he takes the touch and brings him down. There is debate over whether he's the last man. The referee goes to VAR, checks it, but sticks with his original decision of the yellow card, which I do kind of think was a fair decision in the end, but could have equally gone the other way. We have seen them given, but I do think the referee was correct. And ultimately, the free kick didn't come to anything for Aston Villa. The next key moment was the disallowed goal that Feyenoord had in the first half, and they could potentially feel themselves very aggrieved. They put us under quite a bit of pressure, and I think they had something like 6 corners in the first half, and from one of those corners, the ball goes into the box. The referee blows quickly to give him his dues. A Cash goes down, but the header comes in from the striker, heads it right down into the ground, bounces up, and Marco Bizot looks like he makes a fantastic save to claw it out, but it does go over the line. But as the referee had already blown for a push on Matty Cash, the goal is disallowed. Robin Van Persie very unhappy with that decision. And looking at the replays, it does look like a soft decision, and did look like Aston Villa got away with one there. If I'm being brutally honest, another great save from Marco Bizot in that half. A long strike from the Feyenoord midfielder from 30 yards. Bizot gets up with his hand and tips it over the bar. But really, across that first half, nothing too much to write home about from either team. Quite scrappy, as I say, both teams giving the ball away at certain points in the game. Feyenoord probably looking the most dangerous. Villa did have one opportunity with a great move that Ollie Watkins went through, but he was just offside. He goes round the goalkeeper and hits the shot. It does get cleared off the line. And then another opportunity, tries to lob the keeper, but gets the shot wrong. But it was good thinking at the time. But as I say, Villa would count themselves to be, in terms of organised and set up for that first half, going in at 0-0, but without really threatening. But the second half comes out and Villa are a different side, to be honest. They do take the game to Feyenoord and the quality shines through. And on the 61st minute, what a great goal it was. Ball is on the edge of the box. Morgan Rogers picks it up. He manages to get the ball towards Boubacar Kamara, does really well to get the ball ahead of the defender, gets it under control, flicks it to Emi Buendia, who controls it with the sole of his foot, stops it dead, and then just curls a beautiful shot into the bottom corner, and it's 1-0 to Aston Villa. And Emi Buendia, who has been a revelation these last 3 or 4 games and really provided an inspiration and impetus for Aston Villa, he gets the key goal for us to move us ahead in the game. Villa then trying to keep control of the ball, trying to take the sting out of the game. They know that Feyenoord are going to come at us. They do have 1 or 2 efforts. Marco Bizzo blocks one, but nothing really too threatening, if I'm being honest. And then we look to catch them on the break. A couple of substitutions are made. Daniel Marlon comes on for Ollie Watkins, and Lamar Bogard comes on as well to shore up the midfield. And for Emi Buendia, actually, after his goal. And it was John McGinn, again, with his 3rd goal in 3 games, who gets the goal after great work by Daniel Marlon, who came on as substitute, as I said. Marlon gets the ball from some wonderful work from Pau Torres, who holds the ball up on the edge of his box, turns the man, plays the ball in one of his probing passes into midfield. Marlon then turns his man, heads to the box, and doesn't stop. There was too many times when Villa players were stopping when they got into great positions, but he keeps going. He engages 3 of the Feyenoord defenders. The ball squirts out to John McGinn, who makes no mistake. Lovely finish into the bottom corner, and it is game over. 2-0 Aston Villa. A couple of saves from Marco Bizzo, and Villa get the 100% record in the Europa League. 2 wins from 2 clean sheets, and it is a successful trip to Holland. 3 wins in the last 3 games, 3 goals in the last 3 games for John McGinn as well. And it looks like Aston Villa are getting their mojo back. Yes, there was times where we were giving the ball away, particularly in that first half. Morgan Rogers still making those wrong decisions, still playing those passes that are too casual, but he's getting into the areas. He's picking the ball up on the half turn. He's starting to get the rhythm back that he so badly needs. He needs to just take the first choice that is in his head. Does he take the shot? If the shot's there, if it's in his mind to do it, take the shot. As soon as he's got to think about it, he's then making the wrong decision. Evan Gesson, you can see him growing into the game as every game goes on. The second half, I thought he was excellent, winning flick-ons, holding the ball up. He just needs to keep that confidence up. He hit the post in the second half as well with one of Villa's really nice moves. It was Maatsen down the left-hand side, fed from Buendia. Maatsen cuts the ball back. Gesson takes it in his stride on his left foot, but it hits the outside of the post. And it's those times, again, where he doesn't have to think about it. When he's thinking about it and he's trying to think he's got space to run into, he's too often holding the ball up and then trying to give it to someone else. Evan Gesson looks like his strength is running with the ball and running at players, and that's exactly what he needs to do. But so many encouraging signs. Ezri Konsa, just imperious at the back. He is showing a real leadership quality right now. He's driving the ball forward. He was the one who was taking the game to Feyenoord. He was the one who was trying to get us moving up the pitch and trying to drag players out of position. And it was really pleasing to see. His positioning was perfect as well when the ball went in the box. Feyenoord really looked to get the ball into the box quickly. It was inevitably Ezri Konsa there to head it clear or get his foot on it to clear it. Ably assisted by Pau Torres, whose passing was sometimes a little bit off today. The ball's going into midfield, but so many times when it works, it does get us into real good attacking positions. But the defending was excellent. I thought Cash and Maatsen both had tricky wingers who were against them, but generally dealt with them very, very well. There was a couple of times that they did get beaten, but most of the time they coped well. And Villa, to be honest, as the game went on, you could see the quality shone through from Aston Villa, and the effort that Feyenoord had put into that game did start to tell as the game went on. The spaces started to open up, and you got the impression if Villa really did want to turn the screw, they probably could have got 1 or 2 more goals. Ollie Watkins looked sharp in that first half, some really nice one-touch passing as the ball was coming in, some really nice movement as well. And when Marlon came on for him, after 5 minutes of just getting into the game, some of his touches were excellent, getting the ball on the turn, running at defenders, and that's exactly what we want to see. Boubacar Kamara and John McGinn once again in that midfield, really, really good. Some excellent play from Kamara, just settling the game down, driving the ball forward when we needed to. McGinn picking up the ball in some great positions and looking really, really good. And look, it's not clicking all the time. And so much of our play does come through Morgan Rogers. I feel like he's looking for Ollie Watkins every time he gets the ball. Sometimes he needs to look for Evan Gesson. Sometimes he needs to look for Emi Buendia and just mix it up that little bit. but you can see parts where it's coming together, and that's the most pleasing thing. And we're picking up wins. We've had 3 wins from the last 3 games. We've only conceded 1 goal, and we go into Burnley now on Sunday in real fine form, in real confident mood. And there's players that want to get into this team now. You know, there'll be players that Jadon Sancho could be fit for Sunday, maybe even Yuri Tillemans, maybe even Amadou Onana. There's players that want to get into this team. Harvey Elliott came on for 10 minutes and wanted to get on the ball and looked like he was buzzing about. You know, you've got Buendia, who at the moment, who's absolutely playing out of his skin. He is the real inspiration at the moment for Aston Villa. He does not want to lose his place at the minute. Is Evan Gesson, is Morgan Rogers, is Emi Buendia that 3 players in the attacking midfield of choice? Because you've got quite a nice variety. You've got the strength and that brute force of Evan Gesson. You've got the ball carrying ability of Morgan Rogers. You've got the ingenuity of Emi Buendia. All those 3 players bring something slightly different. And then if you can get Ollie Watkins moving, if you can get Ollie Watkins playing, then you've got a real nice blend. And then you can bring on the likes of Sancho, you can bring on the likes of Elliott to complement that as the game goes on. But ultimately, a professional performance, not perfect, but a tough place to go. One of the teams, Feyenoord, will probably want to go further in this competition. And if we've beaten Bologna now and Feyenoord now, we've got to be looking at being one of the strongest teams in this competition. And we can really go far in it if we continue the consistency and the consistent performances that we've put in. Ultimately, for me, I think man of the match, I would probably go for Marco Biza. I haven't really mentioned him right now, but he was excellent. Any balls that came into the box, he was punching them clear. He's good with his feet. He didn't look to take too many chances, but the players were happy to give him the ball. He'd play longer balls out. He'd play shorter balls to Torres or to Ezri Konsa. Some of the saves he made were fantastic. Tipping the ball over the bar, sometimes coming out and saving them one-on-one. So all in all, a really solid performance from Bizot, who probably came in at the last minute and had to be ready straight away. And we know another goalkeeper that had to come in at the last minute in Rotterdam as well. So I don't know what it is about that ground with goalkeepers going down and players having to cut and goalkeepers having to come in at the last minute. So I'd just about give it to Bizot, but I thought Emi Buendia was fantastic. His goal, brilliant goal, and his real inspiration for us moving forward. Ezri Konsa, imperious at the back, and John McGinn once again, lovely goal and keeps the driving force through the midfield. So some really solid performances there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And we'll be back on Sunday for the Burnley game. And we'll also do a preview as that. So make sure you stay tuned for the channel. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Get your comments in as well. Your thoughts on the game. How are you feeling on that ahead of Sunday? What a week it's been after the Sunderland game and before that the Everton game. What a difference it makes to have 3 wins in a row, and the players should be absolutely buzzing into Sunday. Let's make sure we get that win and let's go into the international break in fine form. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we all follow the Villa.